What's going on, guys? YogiZilla here, aka Yomar Lopez. If you don't know my real name, it's my real name. I want to come some real talk. I go by the avatar YogiZilla. Real life friends do call me Yogi, and I want to, I want to be as transparent as possible, because that's one of the ideals that the Geeky Antics Network is built upon. So you're gonna get a lot of me here, but let me give you a little background first of what the goal with Geeky Antics Network is. So, like with anything else, it's my baby, and it is something that I really believe in. Because I want to focus on this so I can someday do it 100%, full time. Focus on writing, game development. Just go back to the stuff that I love the most, I'm most passionate about, and just completely, be creative all the time. And I want to help other people get there too. And to me, first and foremost, the Geeky Antics Network is a peer support network. Yes, it's a platform to help you reach more people. We have independent contributors, and they're not locked into our network. But we appreciate when they go exclusive with us. But even then, even when they're exclusive to our network, they're free to syndicate through other platforms like Stitcher, iTunes, all that stuff, and do their own thing. They have their own creative liberty and their freedom, and I think it's very important. So it's mutual benefit. It's a win-win kind of thing. I hate saying win-win scenario, but that's really what it is. But now I'm gonna come to you guys with a personal, I guess I can say, plea for help. First, lots of gratitude. Before I even started asking for help and letting people know situations that I'm going through, there was a lot of initiative going on. Folks that were donating, leaving voicemail messages, just being very encouraging, saying that they love what we're doing, they appreciate me and stuff like that. And, people don't stop enough to say thank you, and some of you out there might be just rolling your eyes like, oh, I've heard this spiel already, but you can never thank people enough, and I'm sorry. I have to go there. But before I go there, I want to just say that this installment of the Gang a Minute, TGM, this special vlog that's usually dedicated to happenings in the network, we are going to get into that stuff. But I want to say first and foremost, it's dedicated to the little kitty you see in the background there in the slideshow. Her name is Blue. She's the mascot of the network. I'm cracking up because I'm looking at the video window right now. And I love that little girl. A lot of people, they see like pets as just like decoration or material things that they own, but I consider the pets in our family family. And that makes a big difference. So right now, Blue's going through a little tough time. I'm not gonna get into the details too much. You can kind of see this picture right here. She's kind of putting weight on one leg, one of her hind legs, and the other one not so much. I had a video I was gonna share, but I don't know. I don't think I can sit through it right now. It's too soon. I think it's just a sprain. Now, before people say, "Hey, just take it to a vet," you don't have to speculate. That's the problem. We've kind of hit a rough patch. Money pit after money pit. Car problems. Unexpected bills and expenses, and our rainy day fund has pretty much been all but completely exhausted, and it's a little rough. Recently, Stan Farina, shout out Stan, one of the few people in the world that I can actually call a true friend. The friend is something that people throw out very liberally, but a friend is something that is a treasure that you'll probably only get a handful of times in your life. Someone that's really gonna be there for you through thick and thin, not because of their personal gain or out of some kind of guilt or obligation, but because they actually care about you. And Stan definitely busts my chops, but he does it out of love. And you can always tell when I'm off. It's funny because I always bring my A game. I'm always like trying to be pumped, and it's not just him noticing. We've been doing really well with Timey Wimey Tea Time, Timey Wimey Tea Time, and it's basically our Doctor Who show, but we talk about a lot of other stuff, and we've gotten into a lot of philosophical questions and spiritual issues. We've dug really deep, and our community has been so amazing, which is why I have the courage now to come forth with what I'm about to share. So, we actually, before I get into that, you know, because there is a certain degree of fear, and I want you guys to hear one of the voicemail messages we've gotten from a wonderful gal named Lauren. I just love every time she speaks. It's very simple, but it touches my heart. So I want to share this with you guys in case you haven't been listening to Time and YBT Time, and you really should. It's even if you don't like Doctor Who, you might appreciate what we have to discuss. It's we get very deep, a lot of real talk, more so than usual. It's more sensitive. We try to keep it clean, and I think it's a message that a lot of people should hear. But check out this voicemail here.
It's me again, Lauren from Brighton. Loved how you shared your personal experiences with fear. Very brave of you, Yomar and Stan. I can't wait to hear you guys next week.
Now, I wanted to share that because people have come to me, they say, oh man, Yomar, Yogi, you're always in good spirits, you're like always smiling and laughing, and, it's like you have no fears, no worries, and it's like, how do you do it? It's like, let me tell you. True courage, true strength, true happiness is not the absence of fear. Not at all. I have many fears. I'll share some with you right now, just like I did on episode 5 TWTT. I'm fear. Like most people, I fear failure. But specifically, I fear that anytime I'm experiencing huge success, something's gonna happen in my life that will derail that success and basically offset all the months, years, whatever of hard work. Like right now, Gigantics Network, we're growing rapidly. Every independent contributor is seeing growth and improvement across different metrics and personal goals. Collectively, we're growing. There's new friendships being forged. So many great things, and our audience, especially on the TWTT side on YouTube, if you go over there, we have so much, feedback, so many great comments, not just like awesome, cool, or great job, but really heartfelt, authentic comments that just blow my mind. We're only 5 episodes in, well 6 if you count our pilot, and episode 6 coming up this Saturday at noon, September 27th, 2014. We'll be on allgames.com live and also on twitch.tv/geekyantics, which is where you might be watching this right now. And I keep looking over because I'm trying to see if anyone's in chat. I don't want you guys to feel I'm ignoring you, but I may not be looking over too much because I have a lot of stuff weighing on my heart that I want to share, more so than usual. And in many ways, recently I visited Stan, and that we did a lot of soul searching together in collaboration. We were very productive, and it was just good to get away from family and the chaos of family life. As much as I missed them and I worried, I miss my babies, the animal ones and the human ones. But I needed it, and it gave me a chance to come back and really assess what's important to me. Stan busted my chops. He's like, well, why do you bother with the Twitch streaming when the podcasting stuff and the blog stuff is really producing for you? It's getting you clients and so forth, so on and so forth. And we had someone recently, actually, a few people recently, reach out to us via email on our contact form. Did I forget about you? One of the folks is a disabled veteran, and just in case you're watching this, I saw your message, and I will get back to you ASAP. There's a lot of catch up going on right now. By the way, fear. Back to fear. I'm going off into a bunch of tangents. I'm sorry, guys, but I worry about that. I'm always a cup half full kind of guy, but I still have my concerns, and I fear that every time we'll make progress with stuff, with all these different projects, my life's work, which I consider Geeky Antics Network part of that in a big way, in a huge way. I see as a catalyst for so many things that all of us want to get done together or individually. I worry that things are gonna happen. So, someone will die, someone will get sick, or I'll get sick. My health hasn't been that great. I've been managing it and then getting better in some ways, and some days are tougher than others. But I'm not here to give a sob story. But I hope that by in sharing this and being so candid that you know I can make it easier for you guys to you know open up to someone close to you. Or if you want to share, be really brave and call in like some people have, and leave us a voicemail message. The number's right down there, 206 or 1206 if you're calling internationally. You might have to put it in a country code or something. So yeah, 1206 415 4987, and don't be shy. If you don't want us to play the message, make sure you stipulate that. Email might be better if you want it to be private, but leave us a voicemail message. We're here for you. And I hope and I hope more people take advantage of it. People have been taking advantage of that, and they, I joke around. I say, hey, people get the feels, but it touches me in a much deeper way than that. I'm like, wow, I'm taken back by it because people, they open up to such a degree that it's like, wow, what do I say to that? How do I match that vulnerability, or at least meet you halfway? So yeah, I have my fears, I worry that no matter how much money I bring in, for my family, it's never going to be enough. It feels like we could always find ways to spend it faster, and it's rough on me. My better half, she's out of commission, she's had surgery, and a battle with cancer and all this stuff, and it's put a big load on me, and it's created some tension. And it's other things that I'm not gonna, bore you with the details of, but it's a struggle because, I have to do the things that I love, and then the things that I don't really love to pay the bills, and that's everyone else, right? But I don't want to be so consumed by those other things that are necessary that I don't get to keep consistent with what we're doing here. And we have so much momentum going, so many good things, that I feel another big breakthrough coming through. We got Walker Stalker Con coming up mid-October, the weekend of October 17th to be exact. And we love to meet up with you guys, by the way. So that weekend, I should be there for the entire weekend as press through October 17th through 19th. I might have 2 extra press passes if anyone wants to be part of Geeky Antics Network and help us cover it. If you have equipment, even better. If you can't make it there and you have some stuff you want to get rid of, let's talk. Whatever way you can help out. So, another fear that I have, and it's not foolish pride. It's not me being a man or just being weird, but I have trouble asking for help. And Stan and I have talked about this. If you don't know Stan, again, you should listen to Timey Wimey Tea Time. If you just go to geekyantics.net /podcast, you'll see all our podcasts, or just look us up on Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Zune, all that good stuff. But he said, hey, well, you have all these friends that have different skills and talents. Why don't you ask them for help? I'm sure they'll help you out. Yeah, unfortunately, I love my friends, but those are more buddies. Unfortunately, that's why I said is real friends are tough. But when it comes down to it, they got their own things going on, and they make a lot of promises. They get me all souped up, but then things get them sidetracked, and I understand. And life happens, Everybody's got their own priorities. I respect that, and I'm not disappointed or hurt by it. But I just get to a position where it's like, all right, let me see how much I could do on my own. I don't really sleep to begin with because I have trouble sleeping just because, and partly because of sleep apnea, and mostly it might be in large part because my mind's always going. Even when I try to meditate and empty and pray, I just got like a billion thoughts in my head, and that's just how I am. I know we got some lurkers in here. Just bear with me. It might be tearjerker status, guys. This is not a happy vlog. Just letting you know. So yeah, I think a lot of folks have that fear. On one side, we're outgoing, even introverts crave social interaction and connection. We just do it differently. And believe it or not, I am an introvert, which blows people's minds sometimes because I'm very talkative and I love people. But there's times when I need I go into hermit mode and I just need my me time to just kind of recharge, and reassess what's important, prioritize, so to speak. Uh, what's up, Shorty McShort? This is, by the way, Yogi. I'm Yogi, if you haven't met me yet. I'm streaming to the Geeky Antics channel. I am the founder of Geeky Antics. You can call me Yomar or Yogi, whichever one you want. But I was gonna dual stream on my channel as well, Yogizilla, but something was broken there. But anyway, this is what I do every Monday. I just like do a community outreach. And usually it's about network stuff, but right now I feel like it's heart pouring time. So anyway, like I was saying, fears. Fears are scary. And if you want to share your fears with us, we've been doing this thing where people have been leaving their fears on YouTube under the Time Wimey Tea Time video. Episode 4 is the one you want to go to. No, 5. Yeah, the last episode. Yeah, that's when we talked about fears. Just the last episode that we just did. Yeah, I would love for you guys to share that. But like the fear, of asking for help, the fear of knowing how to approach people. It's not like a fear. I thought about it really hard. It's like, is it a fear of confrontation? Is it pride? Like I don't want to like rely on other people. No, it just comes down to like I see so much good in people that if I feel there's any chance that they might let me down with something like that's really important, I don't put it in their hands usually because I don't want to be bitter and say, I can't believe they let me down. It's like it's when you have a friend that said, hey, whatever you need, man, I got you, man. If you're ever in trouble, you need money, you need a ride to get somewhere, whatever, just call me and I'm there for you. Then you finally take him up and then it's like, well, you see, what happened was, and I try to avoid any of those kind of situations because I don't want to have bitterness in my heart. There's enough salty people in the world, and it's just so much ugliness in the world, negativity. I don't want to have that angst in my heart. So, I try to do as much as I can on my own and kind of hint to people, hey, be cool if you help. But I don't put them in a position where that expectation is overbearing them. And maybe that's what I should do. Let's say, hey, I really need help right here. Like, I can't do this all on my own. I mean, yeah, I could draw. Yeah, I could do music. I could, do podcast production. Yeah, I could do Twitch streaming. I could develop it. There's a lot of things I've done. I'm good. I'm really good at writing, and I've dabbled into so many things. I can even do cartooning. But really, one person to do all that stuff, I'll soon burn out. Now, Shorty's got a fear they want to share. You want to share it on air? I'll share it with everybody. Let's have some heart pouring right now. But those are two of my biggest fears, though. It's just that, the specific type of failure. The type of failure that I think stings the worst is when you have something big and you're on the cusp of a breakthrough, and then you finally run out of steam, or something so big or tragic happens that it derails you. And it's hard to bounce back from those things. So it's really important, fear is not a bad thing in itself. It makes us stronger. We could transform that fear into beautiful things, into strength, into hope. But it's important, one thing I've learned that even though I'm a self-starter and I'm pretty self-sufficient, you can't do it alone. You need to have at least a support group, a handful of people that you just can pour out completely. Because if you hold stuff inside, and it's happened to me, when you finally it's like you just build up this pile of pain and anguish, and finally the silliest thing might trigger it, and you might either project that as anger towards someone that probably doesn't deserve it, or you just break down. Like you ever just watch something silly like an anime show or a rom-com, and you start crying at out of nowhere, like the silliest part. Maybe it's not even that sad. Maybe it's a little emotional, and you're like, "Why am I so sad about this? Why is this making me so emotional?" That's the spirit, Whether you believe in greater power, karma, God, fate, whatever you believe in, Yahweh, Allah, I respect everybody's beliefs, and I hope that is reciprocated. But whatever you believe in, the spirit has certain needs that the flesh can't fulfill. And if you don't have that, your soul nourished, you die on the inside, and it manifests itself in loss of energy, uh, loss of you become unmotivated. You start getting sick for real. Um, so think about that. I definitely I've had that's something I've had to make a real concerted effort to, because there's a lot of people I keep up with, but there's only a few people that I really could open up to completely. You know, and sadly, it's not the people that it should be, because the people that I love the most sometimes that are closest to me, they have such a burden on their shoulders. It's like, I don't want to put more on your shoulder than you already have. Like my mother. My mother's a good example. I love my mother to death. She's my heart. I know that she's always there for me. But some of these things that I'm going through, if I let her know the extent of it, I know she would do something crazy, like sell all her belongings or like give plasma every day just to help me out. And I don't want it to do that. That'd break my heart. Um, but I'm asking you guys, what I'm gonna be doing is a crowdfunding effort, and it's gonna be an ongoing thing. I'm not gonna do it through Kickstarter right now or Indiegogo or anything like that, because I want to be able to bounce back into a position where we can produce something really solid to make it worthwhile for something like that. Like with Timey Wimey Tea Time, I'd love to have a Doctor Who meetup and just get together for tea and just chat and hang out, and maybe go to a pool hall or something, and be able to like actually give out some tickets for people to come to a common location where we'll meet up and hang out. So that's the kind of stuff I'm playing with, and that'd be a good thing to do a Kickstarter for, and then build other stuff around that, like special shows and giveaways and all kinds of stuff. Maybe a Doctor Who mobile app. That's all. I have a lot of stuff in the pipeline, stuff that's already in production, or stuff that's in high level design, brainstorming phase. But right now, I'm thinking about doing just crowdfunding, where it's just if everybody could just give $1, everybody could scrounge up $1 somehow, and then have 10 of their friends do that, and then their 10 friends do the same thing. Things multiply quickly. Now, this math is gonna be completely off, but 10 times 10 is 100, and 100 by times 10 is 1,000. So you think about, if everybody just tells 10 of their closest friends, hey, just go over here and just give this guy $1. Trust me, he's a good guy. It's a good cause. Blah blah blah. It could add up very quickly. Like I've had a few people give a huge amount to the network and to me personally, and I appreciate that. $100, $200, $300, $400. That's great. I'm even happy when it's just like $10, $20. It doesn't even matter the amount, but that's still, if you give me anything more than $5, it takes a lot more of a thought. I think $10 is the maximum where people start thinking about this expense, right? And I appreciate all those sacrifices, but the point is, I'd rather have a bunch of people chipping in, so no one person feels spread thin. Because I know a few people that support my personal channel on Twitch and Geeky Antics. They go around to several channels, and they easily must like donate over $1,000 each month, and bless their hearts. I don't know how they do it. That's amazing. I used to be in that position. I'm not now. I'm a family man. We got the pets, and then there's some bitter people out there that are like, well, if money's tight, then why do you have pets if you can't afford to take care of them? Well, you never expect things to get rough. You start off and everything's good. You have money in the bank and you have steady income, lots of projects. I usually work multiple jobs at once, so it's not just one revenue stream. But now the client jobs have slowed down, and I don't want to force things to monetize, like do a lot of ads and stuff on Geeky Antics yet. We have stuff like that coming, by the way. So if you see the product reviews come up, and you see affiliate links, or if you see links to products, that's us trying to get you to buy through our links, so we get some commission for that, and it helps the network, and it helps me out, helps me keep investing more time into the network and building out more. I definitely would appreciate that. One of the other things we're gonna probably be doing soon is Amazon kickback, because almost everybody I know shops at Amazon. I love Amazon, so if we do Amazon kickback and you could just keep spending money as you on Amazon like you normally do, but I think you pay a little bit more for things, and then a percentage goes to the affiliate, which in this case would be me, acting as Geeky Antis Network. That's kind of stuff we're thinking about doing. I'm exploring all that stuff. We have smaller businesses that are looking to advertise with us, like authors that have books, people that do voice acting, people that do arts and crafts, a lot of awesome stuff. So another thing we're going to probably be doing soon is a directory of people whose products and services we've used, and we can tell you firsthand are trustworthy, the quality products, they care about people, they have good customer service, and we can recommend them to you. Like, this is our directory of graphic designers, and then we could probably even get more granular. Say, hey, these are people that do Twitch overlays. These are people that do logos, stuff like that. See what we got in the chat. So Shorty says, I got this fear that when I am around people, I think I'm going to hurt someone on accident. That's why I just want to stay away from people, but I can't. And I also have a fear to speak in front of people because I'm scared that something's going to slip up, hurt someone's feeling, and I don't want to do that. See, that's really deep, That's something that I find myself biting my tongue a lot. And I try to also control my thoughts as well, because just because you don't speak evil doesn't mean that, the evil's not there. So, if I have a thought and I'm like, all right, why do I have that thought? There's usually a root cause to that. And a lot of times I find what happens when you find yourself in those scenarios where it's like you're around people and you're really close to like erupting. There's something else that's like gnawing at you, and it's important to reflect on that and see what it is, so you can just nip that in the bud before it boils over into everything else. But I totally relate to that. Sometimes I just keep to myself. When I know I'm in an ugly place, I try to keep to myself because I don't want to spread that negativity to anyone else, bring anyone down. But it's tough. You can't, depending what you do for work or how your lifestyle is or who you live with, you can't be 100% shielded or guarded or protect people from that stuff. So someone's gonna get the bad end of it, So yeah, and that's the thing. I think I like to believe that people are fundamentally good. I don't think people mean to hurt others. Like sometimes, like I'm sure everybody has at some point met someone that they just go, "Wow, that person is a real cunt." I'm not gonna say it gets an ugly word, but that person is just plain evil, and you're like, it's easy to pass that judgment. But what we don't see is that person might be hurting more than we are, and they put up this facade because they figure as long as you're hurting or are consumed by whatever smokescreen they threw up, they're safe. And it's sad. We all have those defense mechanisms. Online, it's even worse because people feel like, being vulnerable sucks. So they live behind the shield, so they create these avatars, these alter egos for themselves, and they may use social media, but they're never really quite candid. They don't really reveal who they really are, and it's sad. I'm not saying you should be 100% transparent and just air out all your dirty laundry online. That's the extreme. There's people that's all they do on social media is like call out people and like talk about their personal problems like in a very open manner, and that's extreme too. You gotta have something special for those closest to you, something that's intimate that you can share only with them. That's important as well. But be transparent enough and be authentic enough so that you never stop and for a moment and feel like dirty, like this is not who I am. Why am I trying to be this person? That's a really important thing to do, because the longer you put on the ruse, the longer you wear a mask, the more it eats away at you, and you start believing your own lies. That's not good. I'm going deep here. Oh, as well. Yeah, I think everybody these days gets bullied in some way, whether it's whether it's physical or mental. I wouldn't even differentiate. I think they're equally bad. See, the mental might even be worse because the mental when you're mentally abused, it's easier for you to make an excuse for the other person, or think maybe or think maybe you're being too sensitive, you know. And when you start making excuses for other people, then you start blaming yourself instead, and it's very self-deprecating behavior. I actually in the last episode of Doctor Who, I'm sorry, spoilers if you haven't watched it, but if you do keep up with the show, series 8, episode 5, what was it called? Time Heist. There was a very brilliant line. This hacker goes to Clara, the Doctor's companion, and says, "I could tell you've been with him for a long time." And then she says, "Why is that?" And he goes, "Because you make a lot of excuses." And that is so profound. It's such a simple exchange of lines, but it's so profound because when we get into the habit of making excuses for ourselves and for others, that's another way we make life more tolerable. But and it manages the pain and the discomfort for the time being. But then when it finally surfaces, you realize that you've been pushing like this disgusting evil monster, strange parasitic growth underneath your skin, and then it comes up and it's like hello, and it's gonna try to eat you. That's probably a terrible metaphor, but I hope you get it. I'm trying to keep the mood a little lighter because I'm getting a little sad. I'm looking at all these pictures of Blue, and it's like I want it to get better. So yeah, part of the fundraising will go towards her vet visit, just to get confirmation of what we really feel is the case. And it might be something very simple. From what I've seen, and I'm not a medical professional, but from what I've seen myself and through going through these different kind of questionnaires they have online, kind of like Mayo Clinic, it's like, what symptoms do you have? Well, it might be this, and hearing what other people in the pet owner community have experienced, I think she just has a sprain, because cats are usually pretty nimble. If they hurt themselves, it's because something fell down or someone kicked them or did something mean, and in this case, it's not the latter. So she has, she's kind of limping around, but she's not crying in big pain. They have a good threshold for pain too. That's the thing. But she's still being active. So I'm actually forcing Blue right now to stay in her little house, a little kennel that I have for her, and I got a little padded blanket and pillows and stuff to keep her comfortable. Stuff with our scent on it, because she looks for that. She likes to sleep on my clothes all the time. uh that's powerful. I won't share that. I don't know if you want to share that on the stream, but it hurts the most, folks. We got a lot of deep chat going on here. It definitely hurts the most when the people that are the biggest part of our pain are our own loved ones, our own family. I mean, who do you turn to then? That's what sometimes you need, that support network outside of your family, an inner circle that maybe of people that you don't always see, but you always keep up with. That might help, because it's easy. People that you see day in and day out, you deal with day in and day out. You're gonna end up taking them for granted, or vice versa. And that's just human nature. We're such fickle creatures. So, I tell you what's very powerful: forgiving people. Now, I'm not saying you gotta be a saint and forgive everybody. And forget. Forgetting part is much harder, but forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. You're not necessarily freeing them, because they have to accept that forgiveness and and get out of denial and realize what they did wrong. But if you forgive them preemptively, it frees you, and you get rid of that junk from your heart. You just throw it away. You know, and that's important. You know. My dog's trying to break into the man cave. And then Andy comes in here and just says something completely unrelated. Flashbang. Forgive with boobies. Yeah, it's never quite that simple. Alright, well, before I go off on another tangent, I do want to mention, on a more fun note, Gauntlet just came out. It's kind of snuck up on me. I've been catching up with all this different work and different projects for Geeky Antics. So I probably won't get to stream tonight. If I do, it'll be late night. But I hope to stream lots this week and get into some heavy streaming daily so we can do the fundraising. And I would love if you spread the word. If you see my channel go up. A blog post will be coming out. We have an email mailing list. If you go to geekyantics.net, in the upper right hand corner, you'll see a form with like 3 different fields on it. And you can put your email, first name, last name. Only your email and your first name, I think, are required. You know, so we could be on first name basis. Actually, I think only the email is required. But I love to be at least be on a first name basis. Again, I'm Yomar, but everybody calls me Yogi for reals. And no one stays mad with boobies involved. Yeah, if only with that simple. That only works for so long. Then it's like, ugh, you're still being a butthead. So yeah, get connected with us. Make sure you visit geekyantics.net often. I'm gonna try to keep that updated daily and ideally 2 to 3 times a day, especially with details of giveaways, fundraising efforts, and all that stuff. And like I said, we're gonna be doing the affiliate marketing and different things to bring in our steady revenue. But you know, if you just want to straight up donate, you could just go there right now, geekyantics.net/donate. I have my I'm Raising campaign there. The first goal was 1,500, and I was gonna go to upgrading equipment in preparation for Walker Stalker Con and to improve the stream quality and have a little wiggle room just in case to invest into the network and whatnot. And then, you know, miscellaneous stuff. But now I would like to take some of that, whatever that comes in. And it's PayPal, but it's just I'm Raising. If you do it through I'm Raising, imraising.com/YogiZilla, that should work. Again, the link's at the geekyantics.net site in the donate area, which just gives you lots of different ways to support us and support me and donate. But you can do it through PayPal. Again, any amount is good. All I ask is you tell 10 friends or heck 5 friends, and then explain the situation. Let them know what we're doing with the network. Let them know. Show them my cat. Everybody loves cats. Well, most people. People that don't have souls don't like cats. I'm kidding. I like dogs too, but I think cats win. You know, I'm heartbroken about it. You know, just seeing. I hate seeing people suffer. Animals, same thing. You know, I have to take her to the bath to make sure she goes to the bathroom and help her out of the litter box and into it and make sure that she eats properly. She's getting her energy back. Now I have to be careful that she doesn't try to be a daredevil and climb up on things. So I'm putting her in a little timeout area so she can heal. But again, I am encouraged. A bunch of people a bunch of you folks out there saw my my tweets and some of the stuff I was posting. I think on Instagram, different places. Just wherever I was, just kind of like spitballing, just letting it out. People were like, "Hey, don't worry about it. You know, it's probably something she can heal from on her own. It might take a week. It might take 6 weeks." And I'm like, but I'm scared, and I don't want it to be something that'll escalate further. So I'm gonna monitor it closely. But so far, it looks like it's something that's already healing. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Yeah, that is a tough one. If you know there's abuse, it's such a delicate situation. Something needs to be done before it escalates further, because it will. It's not if it will, it's when. And it could be tomorrow, it could be years from now. Wow. Oop, there goes my phone. I think that's a reminder for me to do my, the vlog. I am doing it. Um, yeah, I'd probably get the authorities involved in it. There's a certain, the bad thing though. Like if it's that bad, yeah, definitely. But the bad side about that is this, there's parts where the authorities are involved, and the parents aren't really doing anything, out of control or an extreme kind of thing. But then they get severely punished. This is a flip side. I mean, there's abusive children just as are abusive parents. It goes both ways. Oh, I mean, in that situation, Shorty, yeah, try to talk things out if possible. Diffuse the situation. That's always number one. Try to diffuse the situation. If not, yeah, see, sometimes parents have their priorities twisted. Worst case scenario, I mean, there's the foster system. So we're in a fortunate place, at least here in the States, where if you have a problem at home, there's places that will take you in. It's not always a better situation immediately, but you have options. I mean, there's more help for the youth right now than there are for a lot of adults that hit hard times. So, you know, uh, something to think about. Wow, we're almost an hour long. This has been. I'm sorry if this is kind of a downer vlog for everybody, but I hope that this discussion has helped people out. And I'm just being completely candid and open with you guys. You know, times are tough. I definitely appreciate all the help. Again, if you go over to geekygauntlet.net, /donate. Matter of fact, I'll put it right up here on the stream. That way, people that watch this on YouTube can see it. All right. Let me get this down here. Oop. Uh-oh. Boom. And that looks really terrible. Let me do this the right way. I think my dogs are ready to eat. Well, one of them at least is trying to bring down the door. Put a nice font on here. Make it POW. This is me being completely perfectionist, nitpicking or anal retentive. I don't know, whatever way you want to call it. There we go. And all right, so there we go. Just look for that I'm raising campaign, and like I said, any amount will help. It's gonna be pure crowdfunding. So if all you can spare, honestly, be honest with yourself. I don't want anybody to go broke because of me. A few friends of mine have done that because I've helped them in the past and they felt obliged. I don't want that because I feel bad. Whatever you can spare, and then have a friend match your donation or rally their friends to donate as well. Whatever way you can help that happen, that'd be awesome. The chat's getting really deep here. Oh, is my bald head scary? Yeah. I'm just letting it breathe a little bit. Am I scared? Am I scary? Does my bald head scare you, or do I look more intimidating? I ain't being mean. I'm pouring my heart out over here, bro. Oh, some good peer support here in the chat right now. By the way, Zombievore, you're quiet, man. Zombievore has been one of the people that's consistently supported, and I don't know how he does it, but I appreciate you, man. So yeah, you know, I think we've said everything that needs to be said. Okay, Andy. Yes. Um, what else? What else did I wanted to talk about? So we talked a lot about fears. I let you guys know what's going on with Bloo. Again, keep her in your thoughts. If you know if you can't spare anything, like if you can't donate equipment, computer gear, you know, money, whatever, services, I'll take any kind of donation, and we can work with that. Make anything that can help, you know, the immediate situation, getting her to a vet and getting treatment, just to make sure she's okay, or anything that can help with the network. You know, I appreciate everything because we have Walker Stalker Con coming up in Atlanta, October 17th through 19th, and I have very limited resources right now, so I'm just gonna kind of go in there with a few notepads and maybe a voice recorder if I can find a voice recorder, and then just go in there Gonzo style and just, you know, ask some friends around, some fans and whatnot. Not gonna be too big. I'm not gonna do video. More than likely, I probably won't do video. We'll see. Cause my video camera, you know, when it rains, it's important. My video camera, when it could I have a nice Canon, and now it's I don't know, it's acting funky. And yeah. So if you're gonna be in the Atlanta area, or if you're in the East Coast, you can make it out here. That'd be cool. We can hang out. But then things will be in a better place, I feel. But I feel like I'm forgetting a big thing. So yeah, Gauntlet came out, so I'll be streaming that. Hearthstone, and way behind on my Hearthstone. Probably FTL, Crypto and Necro Dancer. Keeping it simple. That's pretty much it. We're just trying to keep up with the chat here, but yeah, I think that covers everything. For some reason, if you donated during this broadcast, the alerts do not always work, but I will acknowledge you. Actually, let me just double check right now, just to be safe. Awkward silence. I apologize, guys. Just checking this stuff real quick. Whoa. When did that happen? I just got a very big anonymous donation. Um, oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm gonna lose it, guys. Wow. I don't know who that was. And that. Whew. Okay. I'm a sentimental fool. I can't help it. So, um, I gotta compose myself here for a second, guys. So you know, yesterday I lost it. I almost completely lost it on my stream, on my Sunday vlog. I was doing my personal channel, And today, yeah. Okay. Give me a second here, guys. Deep breath. Uh. Whew. Okay, I think I'm good now. Yeah, I don't know who it was, but thank you. Um, I don't know. I'm speechless right now. I'm also checking some messages I just got. The support is just amazing. So you get some there's some lurkers out there. I see you guys lurking. I really appreciate it, guys. Uh, you know, like I said earlier, I have a hard time asking for help. Not because I feel like I'm a scrub, but everybody needs help at some point. But it's just hard because people might hold it against you in the future, or you know, you know, uh, people do crappy things sometimes. They didn't want me to say this exact amount, but it was over 100. So it might be someone that's watching on Geeky Antics channel. Because if you watch on geekyantics.net, it won't show the person that's viewing. So yeah, the lurkers are OP, man. Thank you so much. That's definitely gonna help. You know, it's a really 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 good start. And like I said, I'm hoping that I think about marathon streaming, but I'd rather just do daily stream and keep at it for several weeks without missing a day. That's what I'm hoping to do, like I used to do, and then kind of do the fundraising that way. So, all right, I'm composed now. Whew. That's what I do. I do the rubbing of the head. That's probably why I don't have my usual do-rag, my bandana on right now. That's comforting to me, or like the nails, running the nails through there. But thank you guys. I really do hope that it's been just as much about you guys as it's been about me and the network. There's just been so much love. Matter of fact, for you guys that don't usually get to listen to the Time and Miami Tea Time podcast, I want to play some voicemail messages for you to show you how much love and support we've been getting. I mean, it's blowing my mind how much our community is growing and how much people really care. It's awesome. This is what I've been working for most of my life. All right, here we go. I might sound a little weird while this is open. The special soundboard that I have to cue up these things. All right. This is a really cute one right here.
So, Puddins, what do you really think of Series 8, Episode 4 of Doctor Who? Yup, it's Harley again. Your favorite sexy Gotham girl with a deep sense of humor. Does fear make you stronger, faster, smarter? Or does fear make you cruel or, cowardly? Go deep with this, Kay. Kisses!
My brothers, it's Isaac from Jamaica. I didn't hear you play the message that I left you last week. That bugged me out a little. But I know you get a lot of messages. Or maybe your voicemail system lost my message. Check that out. So I'm still thinking about how the 12th Doctor is an anti-hero. And I don't like it. Like Stan said, the Doctor has a lot to prove. To Clara, to us. I'd like if you go deep with that. As Slovis Campbell once explained, the hero's victory must be decisive, and that the reward must be big enough to bless all of humanity. The treasure must be worthy of our celebration. The reward can be wisdom, but the wisdom must be beautiful and true, not lies, not half-truths or common platitudes. Like Stan says, note to Moffat, peace be with you, my brother.
Hello, my darling boys. It's me again, Lauren from Brighton. I really liked what Yomar said on Saturday. There was a man who lived well beyond any human years, yet he loved, feared, and pondered, much like any human would. He saw the world through a child's eyes. To him, there was beauty at every turn. He travelled time and space, seeking out and protecting this beauty. Sorry you guys had technical problems, but don't stress out about that. You'll figure it out. Keep going deep.
So there you go. I mean, it may not be related to what we're talking about completely here, but just that encouragement alone, that's a huge thing to me. Wow, the chat's still going. Thanks for you guys sticking around this whole hour, pretty much. Awesome. So, you know, the first message talked about fears, and you know, it's an important thing. Does fear strengthen us or does it make us cowardly? It depends on the person and the scenario. I think we've done a good job. I think I've done a good job as well of transforming that fear into strength. And I'm trying to stay strong for you guys. I might break down and get a little teary-eyed every now and then, but you have to deal with it. I'm a sentimental bastard. And the second message, they talk about this whole notion of a hero. I find that it impacts me. It touches my heart just because, I think a lot of times we try to be heroes. We try to be knights in shiny armor. And we break ourselves, in helping others that are broken or trying to save others or save the day. We become broken ourselves, and then we need saving. But then there's no one to save us. It's very tragic, and I know that wasn't what he was getting into, but it's the whole concept of a hero really makes you think. And then this thing about Joseph Campbell believed that a hero should do something great that will serve the entire world, the universe, which is a reference to the principles of a true hero, monomyth standards. That's a tall order, right? Often we pick our sides, or we serve a small group, small interest, a minority, but to serve the entire world, that's a heavy burden to take on indeed. And I like to think that we're doing that right now with the network, because we have a global audience, people leaving comments in Spanish, German, Romanian, gosh, the languages I don't even recognize, Russian, I think. Amazing. So keep that love coming. And Lauren from Brighton, I always love listening to her messages. And she understands our frustration, and we're trying not to lose our heads over it. There's days when there's something, again, some days are hard, and I might be a little bummed out, but a little power nap, some coffee, maybe a little jogging, little quality time with Bloo, that usually helps out. I do hope she feels better, because that's like one of the things that keeps me cheered up. We're going through stuff, but we'll get through it. But I appreciate you guys, and then that pretty much covers everything. I'm going to stop this before it gets past the full hour. Love you guys so much, and just stay tuned, geekyanswers.net, and subscribe to our mailing list, and I should be sending some updates out on what we'll be doing in terms of crowdfunding and what kind of events we'll have to get the fundraising going. And that's it. Peace out.